Parents wanted mercy. Harvard wanted specimens. I gave them both. Boston, 1898. A city of soot, steam, and winter slush. My clinic sat in the South End, its sign proudly declaring orthopedic specialist for children. Twisted spines, bent legs, club feet, the kind of cases polite society didn't want to look at. I told people I gave these children a chance at normalcy. The truth? Most of them came from the orphan asylum down the street. Unadoptable, the matrons called them. Too crooked, too sickly, too poor of spirit. But to me, they were worth something. Bone is a precious thing. Medical schools paid well for rare specimens. The more unusual the bone, the more it fetched. And Boston was full of unusual bones. It began with a boy named Henry, 9 years old, with a tibia so bowed it looked like a drawn archery bow. The asylum sent him with a note. Do what you can, but there's no money for recovery. I did what I could. Removed the leg entirely. Told the matron the boy would never suffer the pain again. She called me merciful. Harvard's anatomy department called the specimen magnificent. I called it rent. Once you sell one bone, you start seeing them everywhere. Little Margaret with her fused knee. Eli, whose arm bent backwards from birth. Each was an opportunity. I perfected the craft. Clean cuts, boiling until the marrow was gone, whitening in quicklime until the bone shone like porcelain. And I told myself it was kindness. These children weren't going to find homes. I was sparing them a lifetime of shame. That's what I told myself. The wealthy donors adored me. Beacon Hill ladies in furs would step daintily into my clinic, coo at children swaddled in bandages, and press coins into my palm. For the good doctor's tireless work, they'd say. Not one of them asked where the bones came from, or why the children in the photographs never matched the ones they saw in the ward. If they did notice, they didn't say. One winter night, the matron herself came to my door. "We've had a death," she said. "Couldn't you make use of the remains?" It was little Margaret. I boiled her skeleton in my back room and sold it whole to a Harvard professor who called it a marvel of deformity. He paid enough to keep the coal stove burning all winter. I told myself she'd be remembered this way, admired, studied, better than the grave. The requests multiplied, not just from the asylum but from private homes. A merchant's wife brought her injured son, whispering she couldn't bear to look at him after the accident. I charged her double and disposed of the body without asking questions. By spring, the air in my storeroom was thick with the smell of boiling bone. The neighbors complained of the sour steam drifting into the alley. Harvard's letters became more specific. Specimens with evidence of rickets, severe congenital deformities, juvenile amputations. The children began avoiding me in the asylum yard. Some made the sign of the cross when I passed. One boy spat and called me the butcher. I smiled and waved, but the words stayed with me. One afternoon I worked on a boy named Samuel. He had rickets so severe his legs bent like parentheses. He fought harder than most, clawing at my sleeve and screaming for the matron. She didn't come. When it was over, I wrapped the legs for whitening. That's when I noticed the rise and fall of his chest. I left him on the table, locking the door behind me. By morning, he was gone. No one mentioned it, but I felt something shift. The way people looked at me on the street, the way the letters from Harvard stopped including doctor before my name. Summer brought fewer sick children. The schools still wanted bones, and I was running out of supply. I started taking risks, walking poorer neighborhoods at night, offering free care to desperate families. One evening, I returned to the clinic to find the front door ajar. Inside, the air was hot and wet, the familiar smell of boiling bone drifting from the back room. In the doorway stood 3 men in dark coats, their hats low over their eyes. They weren't surgeons. Their boots were too heavy, their hands too clean. One of them turned, and I recognized the Harvard crest embroidered discreetly inside his lapel. "Boston University sends its thanks," he said, "and Harvard sends its payment, for the whole collection." When I stepped forward, something hard and heavy struck the side of my head. I woke to steam burning my skin, wrists bound, my cheek pressed against the rim of the boiling pot. A voice I didn't know said, "The rarest specimens are the ones who think they own the trade."
I didn't see who pushed me in.
Greed or mercy?
What do you think kept my hands working? Well, comment below if you can stomach it.